I have been living in America for 2.5 months now, and I am dying. It has been really tough to transition back here. Thankfully, it's not long term. I never want to live in the US long term again. I really love Europe a lot more. But for the current time being, I have to be here until I get a new job. So I wanted to go through some of the biggest differences that are really affecting this life for me. The biggest thing is the cost of everything. I've made previous videos about this, but everything in the US is just so expensive. It is so hard to be unemployed and live in the United States. Groceries are expensive. You have to drive everywhere and pay for gas. The weather, depending on where you are, is tough. Here, I'm sitting outside just because the sun is going down and the lighting is better, because the lights aren't as good inside, but it's still 102 degrees outside. So you can't do anything, and it's 7:30 at night. So you're literally stuck inside unless you're in the pool. This is something that's been most of my life living in Arizona. That has been an issue, but it has been really tough right now when I can't afford to go anywhere really besides the grocery store and the gym. So it's like trying to find stuff to do in the house is really hard. And then all afternoon, we turn the air up so it doesn't run as much, and it's cheaper. And so you're just uncomfortable the whole time, just stuck sitting at home pretty much. I could go sit in the library or something, but then my dogs are still here. So I just kind of wanted to go through some of the biggest key differences, besides, the cost, of course. But just also what I've really realized here is just the culture and society of bringing everyone together. I know a lot of people have been watching all of the World Cup games recently. I decided, because I'm here by myself, I would go out to a popular sports bar with the dogs and watch the game, hoping I could interact with other people, or people would, talk and stuff like that, because, people sit around the bar. So I went to a very popular place. By the time the game started, the whole place was full, inside, outside, bar, everywhere. I was in a shirt. There was only 2 other people in team jerseys, but no one was really talking to one another. I made comments, when people were going through here and there to try and start conversation, but everyone only talked with other people in their group. And I think that's a really big thing. What I like better in Europe is you can go to a bar and watch a soccer or football match, and other people will talk to you and interact. And, especially for a goal or a win or something, people will come together, and just kind of a good, happy vibe. I'm sure a lot of people saw the Spain victory videos, and everyone's like out on the street and coming together. And especially I thought after Spain ended up winning, people would do something, but everyone just got in their cars and went home. So that was a pretty disappointing experience for me. I definitely won't be going out to any bars to watch any more games, that's for sure. And I know people will say, well, soccer isn't as big here, this and that, but like everyone at the bar, inside and outside, were pretty much watching the game. There was a few groups of people who weren't, but you could tell everyone, because they have 10 million TVs everywhere, everyone is watching and interested, and making comments, when there's a close goal or something like that, the halftime show. So that was really disappointing to me. Another thing I haven't been able to adjust to is the food. There is some good tasting food I've had here, a few good fruits and some good seafood, but I have to say a lot of the vegetables, they just don't taste as good here. And I know a lot of people notice this in the bread and stuff too. But the vegetables, in Spain especially, we eat a lot of peppers and tomatoes, and the peppers here, to me, I bought them at different stores and even in different states, and they're just kind of bland. There's really nothing to them. So it's kind of hard for me to eat them plain with just hummus, or even when I cook them and saute them to try to add them to things, they just don't have the same flavor. So that's really disappointing. Milk, I do milk and coffee in the morning. In Spain here, I just use a little bit of creamer, but milk here doesn't taste as good. Tomatoes are super acidic in the US. I think anyone who really travels to Italy or anywhere in Europe can definitely notice this difference. So that is a really big thing. And then just the cost of doing social activities in the US. In Spain, there are a lot of meetups and groups and people do things and it's totally free to attend, or it's very affordable and it comes with things. Here, there's even walking groups where you meet in public places but still have to pay for a ticket to get the exact meetup location. And to me, that's just like crazy. Like, yeah, I know it takes time to put stuff together, but to put together a public meetup maybe takes 10, 15 minutes to maybe find a good location, post it on Meetup or Luma or wherever, and then, go and do the thing. But here people charge for everything. Everything is just like a money grab. Even there's like craft meetup groups where you bring your own craft, like you get nothing out of it, no drink, just like a place to meet other people to do things. And that's like $25, $30. So everything, it just seems is like for money, and it's really expensive. Just going to a coffee shop and getting, a latte, a medium latte, and let's say a croissant or a piece of banana bread or something, it's going to be well over $10, like well over. It is very expensive, even in smaller towns where I was, and then a bigger city like here, everything is just really expensive and stuff. And so that has been a really deterrent where it's not even worth it to go out, because first I have to pay for gas to go somewhere, because even if I could walk or bike, it is too hot. It is 90 degrees or hotter past 5 a.m. So, and even at night, it's not as bad when the sun's out, but I personally don't like to bike at night. And here, I don't know, you don't really see people walking around at night like that. It actually feels less safe, which is kind of crazy. There's no one around if something were to happen when you live in a residential area. So you have that. And then the last biggest thing I've noticed is also how less dog friendly it is. I was previously in Chicago, and I thought Chicago, from what I remember, is pretty dog friendly. I don't know if that's changed recently, but now it is not dog friendly at all. Even a lot of coffee shops, cafes, where I wouldn't blink an eye to bring a dog in Spain, you can't bring here. A lot of just regular stores and shopping in Spain, you can bring dogs, can't bring them here. Pretty much no restaurants, you can't bring them here. Definitely the grocery store, that's the same thing, although I did see a dog in Trader Joe's. But anyways, just like everything. So I feel like it's hard for them, especially if you have a dog who likes to go outside. My dogs, they really enjoy coming with. They like going on walks. They like being part of the group and being around my friends and seeing other people. And so I think it's been really tough for them too. And especially now with the heat, can't even go for like a short walk. They say, if the sidewalk's too hot for your feet, it's too hot for them. So it's just too hot nowadays. And the one dog who you see running around, she will, kind of go in the pool or something if I do on the ledge. She's not really a swimmer. But, having to stay inside. So trying to make sure throwing the toys as much as I can so they can at least get, some walking and exercise and things like that. I think one day I do have to go to the mall for something, maybe bringing them too, but I'm kind of not sure. And I can't try to drive as little as possible, so I'm not spending gas money, because gas is really expensive. It's like still almost $5 a gallon in Arizona, so it's just crazy. So the more I'm here, the more it makes me want to go back. So I'm really trying to apply and get a remote job so that I can go make some money and go back to Europe. Sadly, it's going to be more expensive to go back, because weirdly, it's more expensive to get a dog out of the U.S. than inside of the U.S. You would think it would be the opposite, but it's actually not. So we'll have that issue as well. But just to really get something, because it's 2.5 months kind of stuck in the house, can't do anything, it's too hot. I'm already dying sitting out here, and it's only been, less than 10 minutes, but kind of just wanted to go through some of the culture shocks I've been experiencing and kind of how hard that's been. And I know other people that come back after a while might be experiencing the same thing as well, especially if you're unemployed or you're working on a very limited salary. It makes it really hard to go out, especially if you like to go out and do things. It's one thing if you're a homebody and you can you're okay sitting at home all day doing kind of nothing. But I like to go out. I like to be social. I like to do things. So naturally that fits in with the European culture a little bit better. But If anyone relates to anything like this, just leave a comment below and let me know, or any other ideas for trying to keep busy or different ways to apply to jobs besides online, because that's the only thing you can really do now, and that system sucks, but just kind of how it is, I guess. So trying to work through it, stay as positive as I can, and we'll see how that goes. But I'll see you guys next time. Bye.